how I finally found something on TikTok dog wise that's like sensible and is like, oh, this is good. And then fucking the top comments are like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. You're scared of your own dog. Welcome back to our podcast, guys.
Hey.
Today's
been a while.
episode is going to be a I don't know. We're just going to see where things take us.
Yeah, it's let's see where things go podcast.
Yeah.
Come join us.
We're going to fly by the seat of our pants. Is that what people say? Where did that come from?
Is it the seam or seed?
Seat.
Seat?
Neither. Neither of your propositions.
Of my pants?
Fly by the seat of my pants. I think anyways. Paige, isn't that what it is?
Seat?
Yeah.
I think it's seam.
Seam.
Because pants have seams.
But they also have a seat.
Pants have a seat?
Yeah, your butt.
What's the saying?
Fly by the seat of your pants. We need to figure this
Okay,
out.
it could be seat. It could be seat.
Yeah, I think it's seat. It definitely not seed.
It is seat.
Is it?
Correct.
Where
Okay,
did
what
it
does it
originate
mean?
from?
It means to do something without a plan or preparation.
Yeah, but like,
Relying on instinct.
But what's the
what does it do
origin?
with Pants.
Origin?
is it like? I'm trying to think. What could it have originated from in the olden days? Fly by the seat of your pants. Does it have something to do with like the wind? Maybe you're drying your clothes on a clothesline and they're
yeah.
flapping around
Yeah.
wherever the wind takes them.
Yeah. Or below this popsicle stand.
Where did that come from?
I read this is probably somebody fucking with me, but it was like they used to blow up popsicle stands.
So it originated in Great Britain,
Great Britain.
and it is from the early days of aviation, when pilots relied on their own judgment and intuition to navigate aircraft.
Interesting.
Especially when flying blind in fog.
Wow.
You learn
Okay.
something new.
That's got a deep history there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're doing today. We're flying blind in the fog.
Yeah.
Okay. By the seat of our own pants. We're going to start it off with a TikTok that when I saw it and when Bridget saw it and we looked through it, we said, finally, someone with common sense.
Yeah.
Someone with common sense who knows. Super responsible, knows what they're doing. This dog is going to grow up to be a great citizen of society. We made the mistake of opening the comments.
They did not pass the vibe check.
They did not pass the vibe check. So what we're going to do is we'll go through each slide and we'll just chat about them. So Beaver, the Cane Corso, you're killing it out there. You got a good family. I hope that
Beaver.
if for whatever reason they see this, because they've since turned the comments off on
I
this
get it.
TikTok.
I would too.
100% because they were completely outrageous. Don't be swayed. You're doing the right things.
Yeah.
Keep doing them, please. First slide. He will never be alone with our kids. I don't care if I'm running inside the house real quick. He will not be alone with them. Golf clap.
Yes.
This is like dog 101.
Yeah. And people miss this all the time. They're like, my dog, they would never do that. They don't even have that bone in their body. They can find the bone.
They'll find it.
Yeah.
If they have teeth, they can bite.
People are so shocked. They're like, the child did nothing to deserve this. And it's like hugging it when it's eating food or like climbing on it. And then the dog like tolerates it. And then one day doesn't. And they're like, euthanize the dog. It's the dog's fault.
Yep. It's quite insane. It will never cease to amaze me how much parents will let their dogs put up with due to their children and think that, like, it is 2025. How many children have been killed by dogs?
Yeah.
Up to this point.
A lot.
So many. Or maimed to the point where they've had to have like reconstructive surgeries.
It's pretty sad.
How are we still being this dumb?
Yeah.
How is everyone still this stupid? Okay, let's pull it together, guys. So Kate, great work on that. That's great human and dog mom behavior. Next slide. He is not allowed to have free range of our home. He will be leashed 100% of the time until adulthood. Fantastic.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. And people like hated that one, especially. Like they're like, you leash him 24/7. What kind of life is that? A life where you're teaching your dog structure and then they're not going from room to room pissing and shitting on things and chewing your kids' toys and getting into things and rehearsing bad behaviors because you get distracted. Like,
Preach.
I don't ever see anybody mention how important it is to have a leash on 24/7 with your puppy, like, and put them in their crate when you're not able to do so.
Guess what? Guess what my evening looked like yesterday when I got home from work? I said, okay, my dog at work just had to be in the crate for about 5 hours before I had to leave. I'm getting home at about 9 p.m. That's late. I'm tired. She's not. She's been crated for about 5 hours. So because I, was like, I don't really want to crate her immediately again, and then she's going to have to go to bed and stuff like that. So what did I do? I put that leash on her, literally wrapped it around my leg, tied her to me, and she just hung out with me while I went about my nightly routine. I had to go take a bath.
Yeah.
A girl was in the bathroom with me, chewing on something. And then I had to go make myself some dinner. She's standing right next to me, tethered to me.
Yeah.
And I'm making myself some dinner. And then I'm sitting down and I'm eating it. She's there with me. Okay. I'm not just like, oh, it's been a long day.
Yeah. Be free.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you got a puppy. Okay. Do the things that the puppy needs to have done.
Yeah.
And do it right. Because if you buckle down and you really push in and you're like, for this first year of life, I'm going to be so on top of this shit. You're going to have the best dog in the world.
Yes.
It's exhausting. I get it.
It is exhausting. And I think like you have to recognize that if you're getting a dog, and like no matter how well bred the dog is, if you go through breeders and research a responsible breeder, you can still fuck your dog up.
Yes.
And turn it into like a mess. And then you're like, fuck the breeder. They gave me this defective dog. And it's really that you didn't do the steps that the dog needed to become confident or understand the boundaries in your house.
What's interesting, it's interesting you bring this up, is I think that in a good turn of events, people have started really understanding that like backyard breeders, puppy mills, all that kind of stuff, bad news. Okay. So now they're actually, I think, ethical and responsible breeders are kind of on the rise. I think people are getting more into that because it's, for better or worse, becoming trendy to be the one who's like, I got my dog from an ethical breed. You know what I mean? Because they like to hold it over other people's heads and be like the superior one morally in that situation. For better or worse, whatever their intention is. But I think what's interesting is that it's a good to point out that just because you get a good dog that has good genetics and a good foundation, you can still mess that up.
Yeah.
You can still mess that up. Is it a little harder and is it easier to rectify once you are on the right track? Yes. But you still can.
Yeah. It's like those parents that raise kids and they're like a working father and a doting mother and then the kid's like a serial killer.
Yes, right.
Like you can do everything. Like you can have good genetics and like people can be very smart, but ultimately if something's wrong with them.
Yeah. All right. Next slide. We have structured play times, nap times, and meal times. Oh my gosh. Abuse. This is crazy. It is insane to me that like literally I could not have been so far off from the vibe of the rest of society when I was reading these things. I was like, fantastic. Why is this a hot take?
Yeah.
Why is this crazy?
Because
this felt like the time that I bought a pair of sandals that I thought were neutrals and Tom thought they were crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see my post about those?
No.
I bought a pair of Doc Marten sandals that had leopard print, as the straps.
Yeah.
And they have a little platform to them. Real cute. I literally going into it, I was like, what a nice neutral shoe.
Yeah. It can go with everything.
It can go with literally anything.
Yeah.
Right? And then I put them on and my husband walks into the room and he goes, oh God. And I said, what? He goes, those shoes, they're just like a lot's going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could not have been further from the read of everybody else, I guess, on these sandals. This feels like that moment.
Yeah. I just don't trust a man. Like I had the same thing. I was wearing a pair of tie-dye pants that were 2 shades of blue.
Fantastic.
And I wore them and Justin was like, whoa. those are crazy. And
Right?
he's like, I wouldn't wear those in public. And I was like, oh,
You're
so
like,
I've
well-
never have.
See, I do anyways.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm sorry that you think these shoes are loud. They're a neutral.
Yeah.
They're a neutral. Animal print is a neutral. I will stand on that hill until I die. Okay? Anyway,
Yeah.
past the shoes. Next slide. He is properly socialized and will continue to be. I guess I don't know what her version of properly socialized is, but given by the vibes
Yeah.
of the rest of this, I have a feeling she's doing it right.
Yeah, not letting everybody come up and pet your dog because you think that's socialization and that's going to frame them. Where really, like when we see dogs that are overly socialized from a young age, we see an array of issues rather than like you think you're doing the right thing and the dog just becomes more fearful and they're like, this bitch won't advocate for me, so
Yep.
I got to take it into my own hands.
And with a Cane Corso, whew, that's scary.
Yeah.
That'll get real scary real fast.
It's like a power breed, and like this person is so responsible with everything they're saying, which you should do with every dog, but especially like a big
Yes.
mastiff breed.
Yes.
You need to be able to.
Because the margin of error, like, should you do this with a golden retriever? Yes. But if you don't, are they going to potentially kill someone? No.
No.
Could a Cane Corso? Yes.
Yeah.
Have they? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's that much more important to do these things. Next slide. We got him a soft bath mat to lay on rather than an expensive bed for him to chew on and destroy during the puppy phase. That's just frugal.
Yeah.
Like,
Smart
sure.
choice.
Smart choice.
Yeah.
Why waste money on something that will likely get
Yeah.
little chew marks on it because
Yeah.
he's a puppy?
Or get shat on, like if they have
Yeah.
an accident in their crates.
Exactly.
Like, you don't need all of that. And you don't need your puppy ingesting possible like foam or stuffing. And people like hate, even like when I tell people I don't have any blankets in Sunday's crate, they're like,
Yeah.
it's like she lays on the crate floor.
They don't need it.
No.
Sunday lived in a rabbit hutch. She's fine.
Yeah. She gets a plenty comfortable bed
Yeah.
when she's chilling around the house, but that bitch cannot have anything in her crate like overnight.
Did we forget that like dogs could live outside?
Yeah, and
in
they
the
sleep
correct
on the
climates. Like they sleep on the ground. Like they
Yeah.
dig holes and they lay in them.
Yeah.
They're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
They'll be okay. He will be respectful to our other dogs and vice versa. He is not the alpha. We, his people, are. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Love that for you. Mutual boundaries.
Yeah. Especially with like as the dogs are reaching like puberty, getting to that stage, like and they're trying to push the boundaries more, you have to be like, no, I'm not shifting on any of these. And if you do like back down, then your dog's learning that they can control your behavior.
Exactly. And like even with my own dogs, like I think a lot of times when people get a puppy, they like let their older dogs be dicks to the puppy because they're like, they have to learn that they're at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what happens when they get to sexual maturity and they don't want to be at the bottom of the fucking totem pole anymore? Then what? You're out of luck because you've just let them play in their own little ecosystem this whole time and you haven't asserted yourself or had any authority over what they do and how they do it. And then now you're going to have a big problem one day.
Yes.
So with my dogs, when it comes to especially things like resources and stuff like that, like you are all on an even playing field. Just because Lumos is the oldest doesn't mean he can go up and fucking take Icky's bone or toy because he feels like it. That's not how it works. He will never go to a doggy daycare or a dog park, but he is enrolled in puppy classes that are in a controlled leashed environment. Girl,
I could kiss her on the legs.
I know. Look at you.
Like, people love the dog park, and people hate when you tell them doggy daycare and doggy parks are not it.
They're not it.
They don't pass the vibe check, and they're
No.
like, what?
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to take him? Like,
Anywhere else.
yeah.
Truly. I mean, those are the worst places that you could ever go with a dog, especially a puppy. So fantastic. Don't do that. We've harped on that so many times. You guys don't need to hear it again.
Yeah.
It's, again, 2025. This should not be an argument. This should just be like, well, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. Oh, this is probably what pissed people off the most. He is cropped. Cropping is not abuse. His crop was done by a very reputable vet. I love a good crop.
Yeah, people in the comments were specifically saying like, "Oh, warning flags is that you're going to leash him all the time, and then you're going to crop his ears. That's abusive." Like, it's breed standard.
Meanwhile, you guys are out here spaying your puppies when they're 10 weeks old, so you can shut your fucking mouths. I mean, that's just crazy. Like, it's insane to me. Like, you're cutting out vital organs of a puppy, and then you're going to be mad when they cut off a little cartilage on their ears.
Yeah. And done in a professional way is like super ethical.
Yeah. The dog is like, they don't feel it, guys. They're going to be fine.
Yeah.
They're going to be so fine.
It's like your backyard breeder does it with a pair of kitchen scissors and like,
yeah. And
hopes
it's
for the best.
Meanwhile, like Becky's like, it's so bad when you cropped his ears, yet her like 6-month-old baby's got its ears pierced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, come on, let's think about this logically, guys. Like, absolutely insane. And also dogs that are supposed to be cropped or docked, when they're not,
they look
goofy.
They look dumb.
They look goofy.
Yeah.
Okay. Like a Doberman with floppy ears. Be fucking for real right now. Oh, like no, not one of those crops. Yeah, like a Doberman with floppy ears. Absolutely not.
No, I can't.
Rottweilers with tails.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's nonsense to me.
It really is.
You ever seen a Great Dane with a crop? Beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
So beautiful. Once he reaches the appropriate age, we will be using a Hermspringer prong collar. Pulling is not acceptable and will not be tolerated. This is not only to protect him, but also us, and also protects your untrained dog. Preach. Speak your shit, girl.
People are like, a prong collar?
And I love that she specified Hermspringer. It's really that's the only brand.
Yeah.
What's the other one I always see all the time? Titan or whatever. That's the one that's in pet stores, but all the links go the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get a Hermspringer. That's the real shit.
Yeah.
It's got the trachea guard on it. The prongs go opposite directions. That chain, it's just
Yeah.
No one does it like them.
I know.
No one does it like them. He is crate trained and will continue to be. Crates save lives.
They do.
Yes, they do. Absolutely. I still crate all of my dogs.
Yes.
He's 100% hand fed. He's not allowed to eat from a bowl. He has to successfully do commands to eat. Good behavior gets rewarded.
Mentally stimulate your puppy. You know, work for that food.
They love that.
And they're like, the shelter people are like, you gonna make him work for everything? Yeah.
It's a dog.
Yeah. He lives in my house for free, rent free.
Yeah.
And if people are willing to go to that length and they hand feed, like that's such a good opportunity to establish a relationship with your dog, with your puppy.
Which I thought it was so funny that people got so pissed off about this, because I just made that post about Lulu, the puppy that I started working with. And I was literally like just doing like follow drills and name recognition drills with her food. And I literally made the caption, if you got a puppy and you don't know what you should be doing, literally just do this.
Yeah.
Stop feeding them out of a bowl and just do this.
Yeah.
And then everyone loses their minds. He goes to a groomer every 2 weeks for nail trims.
Good.
Great. Love that. Because this breed, you need to get them established with a groomer if you're going to be taking them to professional grooming at this age. Because you cannot expect your 9-month-old nails grown out Cane Corso to just be dropped off at your local Petco and it go well.
You're like, good luck. And then you realize they have to be fully sedated under anesthesia to get their nails done. And how bad is that on the heart of especially a giant breed?
Yeah. Yeah. So good on that. He's not allowed on furniture and never will be. The furniture is for us and our kids. He has his area and he has his crate. He needs to respect our areas just like the kids need to respect his.
Oh, another kiss on the lips.
I know. It's like music to my ears.
When people like have their kids and dogs on the couch together, that's always like a red flag for me. Because I'm like, it would take a second for them to lean over. They're right at the kid's face level. And plus, it's gross to have a big dog on your couch like that.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. And just the idea that like, it's crazy that just the idea of not letting your dog have access to your furniture in your house is enough for people to lose their absolute minds over.
Like they're like, well, it's my house, and if you don't like dog fur on you, don't come over. Okay.
Wow, you really got us there. Okay. Let's see what's next. Oh yeah, that was it. She said he's been a great pup and we're excited to see what he turns into. I can guarantee you he's going to turn into the coolest dog ever.
Like an all-around good fellow.
Yeah, he's going to be a great fella. I hope the best for you guys. You're killing it out here.
Don't listen to the comments.
Please don't.
There were like a decent amount of comments that were like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like to the people that like were commenting negative things and were like, this is how you do this with this kind of breed.
Yeah. And how they were like, the big, like huge comments were like, why did you get a dog that you're scared of?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I still don't get it. I don't understand how any of those things correlate to them being scared of that breed of dog.
Like, I guess like not leaving it alone with their children because they think that dogs should be able to do that. Like,
it's like, what about that breed scared of the dog? Because they have a healthy respect for the amount of like violence and danger that a Cane Corso could emit.
And how children are unstable and you can tell them a million times not to do something and you turn around for 1 second and they'll do it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just wild to me. I don't know. I've just gotten like so confused and baffled and at my wit's end that people get so personally offended when you talk about dogs.
I know.
Like, this is not a personal attack on you. When I say that like pit bulls are usually dog aggressive, this isn't me attacking you as a human. It's not even me attacking pit bulls. They just are.
Yeah.
That's just a universal truth. Okay. When I say that Cane Corsos are usually pretty mean, they're not your nice, friendly, social dog breed.
And not Rotties either.
No. And what's crazy to me is that if you truly appreciated and loved that breed, you would stand behind that and back it up and be like, yeah, that's part of the reason I like them.
Yeah, they're not like, well, he's so sweet. He's not like those other dogs. Well, majority are.
Yeah, majority of them are. Like when people are
Especially
like,
if they're raised wrong.
Hey, shepherds are kind of neurotic and they're like very intense, high strung, gotta go. As someone with 2 different types of shepherds, I would look at you and be like, you're right. And I love them for it.
Yeah.
That's just part of the reason I like them is I like that personality.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, how dare you call them neurotic and blah, 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 blah. No, because it's just true. It's not a personal attack on me.
We all like different kinds of breeds and we're attracted to breeds. Like I like the Chihuahua. I don't know really why. Small and easy to manage. I don't know. Some people like Australian Shepherds.
They're not that easy to manage though, Bridget.
Yeah.
I have one too. And we see so many of them in here.
Yeah.
They're not that easy to manage or else they wouldn't have the reputation that they have.
Yeah.
Maybe physically easy to manage.
Physically easy to manage. But I sometimes like I don't give myself credit and I like none of my Chihuahuas are bad. But I think it's also that they know the limits and they know the rules and they know what mom absolutely won't put up with and they have a healthy fear of like the consequences.
Exactly. That's how everyone lives their lives. If it would be chaos in our world if there wasn't a healthy fear of like order and consequences for things.
Yes. And just because a dog is little like that doesn't mean that you can't have the same amount of consequences that you would for a big dog.
And I think like even with Snoop, people are always like my Chihuahua, and I'm sure with yours too, people are always like, wow, they just don't act like normal Chihuahuas. And it's like, well, what's sad is that this is really how a Chihuahua could act if people just stopped treating them like purse dogs.
Yeah. I had a wallet one time and it said, I love Chihuahuas. And I went into a gas station and the man was like, what does your wallet say? And I was like, oh, it says I love Chihuahuas. And he was like, I fucking hate Chihuahuas. And I was like, okay. He's like, they're always yappy and biting your ankles. I'm like, mine don't.
Yeah, exactly. But again, it's not a personal attack. I can look at it and be like, okay, I get why most people are like,
Yeah.
Chihuahuas, not for me, right? But what's different, and I'll die on this hill, comparing, I hate when people bring Chihuahuas into like the breed reputation discussion, because I truly believe Chihuahuas are misunderstood in that way, because being a little dick is not part of their breed standard.
Yeah.
Okay. It's because people make them fearful and insecure because they don't teach them how to be a dog or give them room to be a dog, and they turn into little monsters.
Yeah.
The difference with like a Cane Corso is that being a dick is in their breed standard. Okay. So we can't be surprised when they actually are.
And we have to do something about it when they're a dick, because it can be a danger. Whereas a Chihuahua, like, they can be a dick and we can laugh it off.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to kill anybody.
Exactly. Does that mean that we should be okay with it? No. And I think that Chihuahuas deserve better than that.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when they are being a dick, it's because they're scared and they're nervous, and that's not fair to leave them like that. But to like equate the two has always frustrated me, because I'm like, that's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
And people love to use Chihuahuas as a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Oh, people always talk so bad about these other breeds, but I've only ever been bitten by a Chihuahua. Yeah. And it's like, okay, like we haven't heard that 50 million times.
I had an experience today at the park where we had a dog on a long line. It was a pit bull, and she was behaving herself perfectly well. She was on training, and I could hear a man come up behind me, and he was like, that dog needs to be on a leash. And I whip around, and I'm like, she is on a leash. And it's a cop on a bicycle. And me and my client were like chest puffed up, ready to like go. And then I was embarrassed. And then and then we did see two Chihuahuas coming down, and they were freaking awful. They were lunging at the cop, like terrible, but they were on leash. Like technically they were holding the leash.
Yeah.
So they didn't get said anything to, but it was just a funny contrast. Like,
Yeah. No, it is.
And then the owner was like, of course my pit bull got targeted. I was like, yeah, she did.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. She got profiled that day.
Yeah.
She did. But again, I talked about this the other day, is that like, if you choose to get a breed of dog that is known for having like violent tendencies, you can't get that offended and mad when they're profiled every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I will never get offended like when I'm walking like a board and train and somebody picks up their little dog and moves to the other side. I'm like, I would do that too.
Yeah. Fair
you
enough.
don't know me.
Exactly.
You don't know how much control I have.
Yep. So it's like, just don't get offended, guys. Everyone take a chill pill.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. If you decide to get a powerful breed, own up to it.
Yeah.
Be like, I chose this. These are the ramifications that I knew could potentially happen. This is the way it is.
And like people just misunderstand that so much. They're like, oh, that's not true. Like at Easter dinner, my uncle was trying to argue with me that aggression has been bred out of pit bulls for centuries now, and that they're
Centuries?
that they're not aggressive anymore.
They're not even a centuries old breed.
Yeah. And I was like, no, that's not true. And he's like, yes, it is. Like pit bulls these days are nowhere near as powerful as the ones back then. I'm like, if anything, pit bulls are worse today.
Yeah.
Because they get treated like babies.
The little pibbles.
Pibble.
The little pibbles. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
The breed isn't that old.
No.
Centuries.
Yeah.
What would be the point of a pit bull then if it didn't have animal aggression? That you'd be like erratic, like hollowing out the entire
To be
point of its existence.
It's a little baby. To be somebody's little seal.
Little seal.
Little
They
seal
put a little
puppy.
flower crown on it. And they feed it vegan tweets. And it snuggles up to them.
And it's like, I have the desire to kill.
Oh my gosh.
What about when people feed their dogs vegan diets?
Vegan diet.
The vegan diet.
We'll continue the crash out when talking about vegan diet. Your dog is a carnivore. Give them meat. Give them bones. Give them organs. That
Yeah.
vegan diets are crazy to me.
You can pretty much find any, like if you believe something, you can find any evidence on the internet to be like,
true.
this study says this way. And see, the scientific peer-reviewed study. and that they really believe, and you're like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what more to say other than like, don't feed your dog a vegan
They
diet.
can have vegetables like blueberries,
Sure.
carrots. Ask your Alexa if they can have something before you feed it to them.
Yeah.
Or your vet.
But like, they can't just survive off of that. They
No.
need some
Yeah.
meat, guys. They need some meat.
Even Chihuahuas need the meat. Like my little Chihuahuas hunt in the backyard, and every now and then they get a little bird,
Do they?
and they shake it until it's dead. And I'm like, what? Like you still have that instinct?
Oh yeah.
And they do.
They love it.
They do.
Chihuahuas, it even says in their breed standard that they're supposed to be terrier-like.
Yeah.
You know, they're not a terrier, but they're terrier-like, which makes sense. Snoop is very terrier-like,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
They've got the little tenacious personality.
We
in
like
them.
it though.
We do. We're Chihuahua people. I'm wearing my Chihuahua socks today.
Oh.
Hilariously.
Chihuahua socks.
What else, Bridget? Is there anything else that you need to crash out over now that we're here?
I don't know if I sent you that other video, but there was a girl like crying on the internet, like asking for advice. She's like, I'm at my wit's end with this dog. I've done everything. He's bit me. He's bit my husband. He's bit everybody that's come into our house. And she was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm considering behavioral euthanasia. I've never been this fed up. And the comments disappointed. They're like, how could you? He just needs love and time. He just needs positive reinforcement training. Get a Karen Pryor, certified trainer, and it will
gosh.
fix clicker training. And it's just like, she was like, I've been to puppy classes. I've done this. I've done that. And then some of the people were like, balance training. And the comments on those comments were like, that's evil.
Oh my gosh. Tale as old as time, really.
Don't ask the internet for advice.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that. What's funny is I did see another video. Maybe it's the same girl, but this video was like, and I think you did send this one to me, but it was a girl that was like, she adopted a rescue dog who's just like bit a bunch of people. And she even said, she's like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And if you would have asked me a year ago, my thoughts on like behavioral euthanasia or
no
reactive dogs, like I would have said that you were like terrible for even considering it.
Yeah.
And you know, there's no bad dogs and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, this is making me rethink like everything at this point. Which like, it's sad that you have to like be the one suffering and going through something to have the empathy to recognize that like maybe somebody else's point of view isn't bullshit. That's kind of embarrassing for all of you, but finally. Yeah. But we hear it all the time from people where they're like, oh, I just like, until I've had to live through it, like I thought other people just like were doing all the wrong things, or they were so mean to their dogs, or obviously the dog was abused, or whatever it is. It's like, no, some dogs are just crazy.
Yeah. And before I got in the meat and bones of like the balance training industry, I was watching Zach George videos. Zach George videos. And like, I look back to that, I'm like, because I didn't have the experiences I do now, like I was like, positive reinforcement only. Yeah. And then you realize like how much that fails dogs and how much there are preventable euthanasias. Like, of course there's a time and place for behavioral euthanasia, but sometimes like you don't actually need to euthanize your dog.
No. I think that sometimes it's over recommended, but sometimes it is very much necessary.
Yes.
And like an unsafe situation.
Or like medicating the shit out of your dog. Like, I had that lab a couple of years ago, Clyde. Do you remember him?
Yes.
And it was an older owner. She had a lot of struggles with him. He did phenomenally in the training. Yeah. And then she, kept up with it for a little bit. And then her vet said, Clyde needs to go on trazodone, a high dose of trazodone every single day to calm down his personality. And unfortunately, she listened to her vet. So.
And it's sad because like, that's a lab.
Yeah. And he wasn't doing anything wrong. Like, he wasn't aggressive. He was just pulling. And we had all the tools in place to help him stop pulling. Mm-hmm. But as much as I love this client, she just wasn't the most reliable with her corrections.
Yeah, not a lot of consistency there sometimes. But yeah, and I think, and it's, when you think of it that way too, like, I wish we would stop getting dogs and then trying to get the dog out of them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know of a better way to put that, but it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we get dogs and then we're like, stop doing dog things.
Yeah.
And it's like, like the whole point of getting a dog is to like be able to like have joy in your life from them behaving like a dog and like just think it's funny.
Yeah.
Like when I looked away for 2 seconds and then I look in the yard and Icarus dug a hole that was like already up to her elbows. And I'm like, how the heck did you do that so fast? Like, that's funny. Like, just laugh and be like, okay, yeah, noted. Like, she's going to be a digger. I'll have to maybe deal with that at some point. But like, not everything has to be the end of the world.
No. And like, dogs will be dogs. Like, I was delicately folding a basket of laundry. It took me like 30 minutes. And I go to get a little snack. And I come back. Nelson's in the laundry basket, tearing all the clothes to make himself a little nest. And I didn't like grab him out and scruff him and be like, what the fuck are you doing? I was just like, that's hilarious.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to like roll with the punches. Okay. Let a dog be a dog. Let a lab be high energy. Let a German Shepherd make some noises every once in a while. Let your husky howl a little bit. Yeah. Like, just let a dog be a dog. It's not that
within
deep.
reason.
Yeah, Paige, let your husky howl a little bit every once in a while.
Oh, he does. When he was first being crate trained.
Crate trained for everyone on the internet.
Yeah.
He is. He does well with it, too.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all I have to say today.
That's all I have, too.
So, Beaver, the Cane Corso.
You're doing great, sweetheart.
You're doing great, sweetie. You'd be a Corso that I would love to meet one day, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd probably be very polite.
He would. He probably wouldn't like me, but he wouldn't go out of his way to be mean to me. I have confidence in that.
Yeah.
He'd be like, hey, respect.
Yeah.
And I would do the same, and then we'd carry on our ways. But yeah. Anywho, thanks for joining us today, guys. Any thoughts? Leave them below.
Yeah. What are you doing this summer, guys?
Yeah. Any summer plans? Does it include your dog?
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Bye.